Welcome to Bound for Glory 2020. This, Bound for Glory culminates in what Impact Wrestling decided to do in 2019. When they decided to go down a path that many people were happy about, and so was I to a certain extent, but has not led them anywhere. So we now go from last year into this year. And we wonder what's going to happen next year. Have they begun to build into a new path going from 2020 into 2021? This is going to be my point of view. Now, I'm not going to lie about this. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I just found out in the last couple of hours that unfortunately a relative of mine has passed away. Not to COVID, but to something else. So I admit my objectivity is a bit skewed a little bit. Now, I know some would say, dude, why did you do this video then? If there has been a death in your family, we would understand. Well, the thing is, I've been under a lot of stress for almost a whole year. From the day I had my teeth removed until now, I have been through some severe stress. I have been hospitalized because of stress. Yes, I did. I got hospitalized because of stress. And I have decided I am sick of it. And I'm doing what I can to counteract this stress that comes from my anxiety and depression. So I was not going to let that take me over. Just saying, for anybody out there that's going through some stress, who has anxiety, depression, it is not easy. And I've been badly stressed, and now finding an unfortunate relative died because of other than COVID. It's not easy. And I say this, I'm probably going to tell my relatives I've done this video. For the ones you know who you are, I love you guys. And it hurts knowing your brother died, and I'm sorry. And I am taking care of myself by doing this, because this is a part of my life and I'm going to do everything I can to be better. So, it feels awkward doing this, but I'm sorry guys. I didn't mean to throw that on you, but this is the reason why I do these videos. Not to let my anxiety, depression get a grasp of me and keep me empty. That's why I do these. To believe in myself and to better myself and to try and help feel a little better. So, opening of the kickoff show. Unfortunately, I couldn't see it very well because the stream did not go well. It was a bit choppy. I don't remember the guy's name. I think I got a picture of all three of them with D'Lo Brown was fine. Madison Rayne seemed to be alright, but the other guys seemed to botch a lot. I think this might have been the first time to him doing anything for wrestling. He looked like he mostly did things for sports on Access TV. So this, I think, might have been a new experience, and he might have been a bit nervous. That's just me, you guys could tell me. I did not get a chance to see The Rock talk. Unfortunately, like I said, the stream was not doing well. But I did catch a little bit of it when the show started, and I'll talk about that later. The match they got on the pre-show was the Rascals versus the Deaners. Now, I didn't expect the Rascals to win here. I'm sorry, guys. As much as you guys like the Rascals, and I still believe Desmond Xavier is a damn great wrestler. A damn great wrestler. As it stands, being in the Rascals, he's gone nowhere. Flat out. Even with a nice hairstyle he got his due done. It didn't make a difference. They just lose. They go nowhere. I don't even need to describe the match, and I'm not even going to. You guys know what happened if you looked at the kickoff show. Now, the opening of Bound for Glory was the six-person or the six-way scramble for the X Division title. You got Rohit Raju, TJP, Chris Bay, Trey, Willa Mack, and Jordynne Grace. And Jordynne Grace, I believe, was a better fit for the X Division than, I'm going to be honest here, as much as many people were so happy that Tessa Blanchard went for the world title, she didn't really feel that believable. She was not a damn Chyna. She was never a Jazz. She was not a big woman. Because she was not built as a big woman or power lifter, she was never 100% believable. She wasn't a Havoc. I would believe a Havoc as a world champion. I never 100% believed a Tessa Blanchard, even though she did a great job. Here, for the X Division, I believe a Jordynne Grace can be in the X Division. I believe a Jordynne Grace can go up against guys. I believe a Jordynne Grace, as a former power lifter, could actually go and contest against men. She has the build of a power lifter. She's shown signs of being as strong as the men. Look how most of the guys she lifted up. She lifted up TJP. She was able to lift up Trey. She was able to take on most of the guys and lift them up extremely well. Because it was believable. These are smaller wrestlers, almost comparable to herself. It felt believable. The only person that she could not contest against was Willie Mack, and he did not sell for her, which he was not supposed to. That was how the match went. They didn't sell for her much. She had to contest with guys, and when it came to Rohit, and particularly Brian Myers. No, not Brian Myers is in the Gauntlet. I'm sorry, getting mixed up because of what he did. But Rohit, not Brian Myers, he did not hold back. He kicked her, he punched her, he threw her just like any other wrestler. And I am 100% behind that. It was well done. Now, I thought only 2 people could win that title. I didn't expect Rohit Raju to retain. As much as I admit, he has done his best for what he's been given. He's not really given a storyline. He's just being basically a heel that acts chicken shit half the time and is 100% not only cowardly but trying to be sneaky. 100% not bad. But I didn't expect him to retain. I expected either Trey to win or Jordynne Grace to win. But he managed to retain. He managed to keep the damn title. Now the question is going to be, he won the title, not won the title, he retained the title. Does that mean this coming Impact, will he job to someone either new coming into the company, or will he job maybe to Gordon? What am I saying, Gordon? I think the reason I'm botching here is because several companies, and Impact is notorious for doing this sometimes themselves, that at a signature pay-per-view, someone retains, and sometimes, not like WWE every single time, but sometimes they do this with someone that has been somewhat okay, and they make them job on the next Impact. This could happen, this Impact, where either he's going to job to Gordon. I guess I'm botching because it would have been better for Jordynne Grace to win here. I can understand Trey next week, and I'm not fond of seeing Trey win. But if Jordynne is supposed to win, she should have won here. It would have been better at a signature pay-per-view than on an Impact show. Flat out. Now, Moose, and I think this was one of the best segments of the entire show. For me, it was the second best segment of the entire pay-per-view. And this is with Moose and EC3. When it came to this, I wasn't sure how this was going to go down, because when it came down to it, this was not about the TNA title being renewed or being vitalized or being utilized. This is about using the title to help other people. And I still believe, as I said before, that the Impact title was always the focus and the TNA title was a joke. And there's a good possibility after this, Moose will now drop the title never use it again, and is going to be doing whatever he's going to be doing. And that just feels really sad. Because they still need a mid-card title. I'm just saying. But what did we get? We got a nice vid pack before the match, which was more of the story they were going to sell. Then you got EC3 basically beating the crap out of somebody in a stripped down ring. And obviously, Kylie Rae was there. I could see her standing right where Moose came in, because you could see her face. It's Kylie. They got all the people lined up, masked up, and having their hoodies on. That control your narrative. This was about a brawl. There was really no real movement here. You got Moose screaming at the top of his lungs, "Where are you, EC3?" Demanding him to come into the ring that has been stripped down, and let's get this done. And he does get it done. He gets into the ring, he takes off his hoodie, and he faces Moose. See it like this. Raw Underground was thought to try and give a new edge to the WWE, and it flat out failed. You look at this. This feels like how Raw Underground should have been. This, with the music, fit this entire video. It fit. Seeing blood when WWE didn't even bother to do blood on Raw. If there was, you guys tell me below, but there was never blood in Raw Underground. They just beat your ass. There, both EC3 and eventually Moose started to bleed. EC3 bled first. You could feel how important this was. How seeing that EC3 is trying to tell Moose, you are meant for more. You need to control your narrative. Not narrative. This was practically, if there wasn't the end of the show, this would have been the best match of and the best thing that was of the show. But seeing EC3 saying that you could easily be a champion if you decide to beat a monster. You must be a monster. You must control your narrative. You must not let them hold you down. You must always rise. Kind of makes me feel kind of good on what I said earlier in this video. But when I saw everyone cheering Moose and seeing that this was all about trying to make Moose more, and that EC3 was willing to sacrifice himself to make Moose more, because he kept asking, is this what you want? Is this all that you want, EC3? Is this what you wanted? And Moose is demanding to know why. Why did you do this to me? Why are you tormenting me? Is this what you want me to become this destructive? And he's telling him yes. Smiling as he's been bleeding and getting his butt kicked. And he says, before he gets laid out, control your narrative. And then Moose lays his ass out, done, and then he's carried out by the entire group that was encircled the ring. And you see Moose just holding that title, bloodied, battered, shirt torn, clothes still bloodied up from EC3 initially. It just felt perfect. This is what Raw Underground should have been. If you wanted to try and give somebody something different, Raw Underground should have been bloody, and it should have focused on one or two people to get them over to the point where when they went back to the roster, they would mean something. This is how you do it. I was surprised. I'm not going to lie. Good work, Impact Wrestling. Now, we had... Well, I should get this done before I do the Shamrock and Eddie match. I did see a little bit when they showed The Rock talking. I was wondering if The Rock was going to be there. But I remembered Rock caught COVID, so there was no way he was going to be able to appear. I think by now he's had it for almost a week now, or at least 8 or 10 days. So he should still be locked down, if I'm right, if he did have COVID-19. But he had to do a video outside, and he was basically talking a little bit because they didn't make it very long. He was basically putting over his friend Ken, saying how special he was, how he deserved this, how important he was to himself and to wrestling, as well as MMA. I'll say this, that it's good to see that it would have been more impactful if The Rock had been there. But because I do believe he did catch it and he wasn't going to travel, this was the best option. Now, here's the thing. This is what could really help Impact Wrestling. When The Rock is better, when things are a little better, he needs to appear on Impact Wrestling. They need something. Ken needs, and I have to say this clearly, Ken Shamrock needs to talk to The Rock. And I know he's not going to do this. I want to make this clear. I know it's not going to happen. But if he could, and I said this in my last Impact review, they need something. When things get better, I truly believe Ken needs to talk to The Rock. See if he can be able to come where he is and say something. Appear there for a couple of episodes. This could really drum up a lot of interest. Now, of course he's not going to wrestle for them. And of course he's not going to manage anybody. But at least being seen there could at least put more eyes on the product. You never know. Ken versus Eddie. With Sammy, who got his butt kicked at the Gauntlet. I know I haven't spoken about the Gauntlet, and I will in a minute. Let me be honest. I had no interest in this match. I could give two flips about this match because I didn't care. I don't hate Ken. I don't hate Eddie. But let's be honest. This was a floating period for Sami Callihan. He's not doing anything. Yes, he's the manager to Ken Shamrock. And maybe Ken will go after who won this show. You know what I'm talking about. But if that's where it's going, it makes sense. But as it stood as a match, I didn't care. Literally. It wasn't 100% a bad match. I didn't really care about the match. In the end, it was Sammy who had to save Ken because Eddie was getting the better of Ken. And in the end, Ken wins. But then the question is going to be where they're going to go from here. Is Ken Shamrock going to go after the X Division? Is Ken Shamrock going to go after the tag titles with Sammy? Is he going after the world title? If they're not going to do anything and they're going to just keep messing with Eddie, it just feels like a complete waste of time. Mind you, I'm happy to see Ken as a Hall of Famer. But they got to do something. Something new. Give me something. I'm sorry. Now, the Fatal 4-Way. My things move. The Fatal 4-Way. When it came to the North versus... I got to say this. Seeing that at the beginning of the match, well, take that back. I should wind that back. Seeing before the match that once the North, once the Motor Machine Guns, once the Good Brothers and the Crazy and the, well, what do you call Ace Austin? Don't know what I would call those two. They're throwaway. No, they're not a throwaway team. They are a thrown together team, but I don't know what to call them. But pretty much before the match happened, you got Josh Alexander. Why would he pile drive Shelly? Well, they wanted to make it interesting. They wanted to make you think that Sabin would be able to handle it on his own. And he did a pretty damn good job by himself dealing with all three of the other teams. But I thought, because of how the match was going on, it was a good match, that you're going to get easily either Shelly retaining along with Sabin, or you're going to get the Good Brothers. I felt the Good Brothers was going to win. It just felt like the Good Brothers had to win this. But they're in my face. I believe I got a shot at them. If I didn't get a catch a shot at them with the new titles, I'm sorry. But you got the North getting back the titles. Now, I understand there was a possibility that Ethan Page was going to leave the company. Now, there's still a good possibility he will leave. This is the thing. Notoriously, Impact Wrestling will throw a title on somebody, and this pisses me off thinking this. If Ethan Page has not re-signed with Impact Wrestling, they gave him, along with Josh Alexander, the titles. This was stupid. Flat out stupid. Because Impact Wrestling has done this before, where they gave people an opportunity at a title, and they won it, or they gave them prominent spots, and they gave that prominent spot to them, even if they win the title, and then the contract was up, they couldn't renew it, and then they were gone. This is just how their MO works. And I'm hoping Ethan Page is re-signed with Impact, and he is not unsigned. They just gave him the titles with Josh Alexander, and probably very soon, maybe this coming Impact, they're going to be jobbing to possibly the Good Brothers. This would have been the most stupidest thing if that does happen. And I will not stop getting so pissed off, I will bash their ass. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But you guys tell me. Now, the Knockouts women, what am I saying women? I guess the reason I just botched that is because I'm wondering about Kylie Rae. Because when it came to the Knockouts title match, Kylie Rae didn't come out. And Su Yung did. Now, either they're going to show Kylie Rae next week being beaten up by somebody, or this is because Kylie Rae might have tested positive and they could not put her out there, and the best option was Su Yung. It's a good possibility that Kylie could have gotten sick, and if she tested positive, they weren't going to let her go out there. So it's either one of the two things. So, was the match good? It kind of felt a little slow. I know Su Yung has never been known to be a fast-paced wrestler. She's not. But it kind of felt a bit too slow when it comes to Su Yung. It felt a little weird. Mind you, I don't hate the Undead Bride when she does act as the Undead Bride. I like Su Yung. She's sexy. But when it came down to it, it felt like a slower match. It was like Su Yung either had to slow down for Deonna Purrazzo, or Su Yung was a bit out of shape ring style. Maybe she had some ring rust. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You guys can tell me below what you think, but the match felt slow, sluggish. And in the end, you got the ref getting knocked out. You got the ref having to I don't know. I just seeing that Su Yung won this, and possibly that Kylie Rae either's in a storyline with Su Yung, which would make better sense, that she got a butt kicked. But since the commentators didn't say anything, it just, you wonder. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Now, we got the gauntlet. Let's see here. We had 4 people that we didn't expect to come back to Impact Wrestling. Swoggle. Okay. Daivari. Now, I heard Daivari had gone to Impact Wrestling, TNA at the time. I never actually seen him wrestle there. The guy looks jacked. Shit. The guy looks jacked. If he actually came back to Impact Wrestling, I think he should. They need more bodies in that company. And Daivari looked like he could be interesting. Then you had James Storm. Oh my gosh. It felt freaking awesome to see James Storm back. I know that the Slag Daddy's got to make a video on this, and he's going to bring out the Dick Storm, baby. He's going to be bringing Dick Storm out. He has to. But the match itself, seeing that Rhino started with Daivari, seeing that James Storm was in that, especially seeing Havoc there. Of course, she had to be there, along with Tennille Dashwood, along with Alyssa, and along with, well, Kira didn't stay in there long, but I would expect that at least Havoc, along with Why did Havoc have to leave so quickly along with Taya Valkyrie? I don't understand that. And I will get to the little part about them talking about the wedding that's going to probably happen, and I'll get to that in a minute. But essentially speaking, those two should have stayed in there longer. I really do believe they should have stayed in the match longer than they did. I would have liked to see Havoc be the last one standing of the women instead of being thrown out along with everybody else. I just didn't get it. It should have lasted longer with her. Because next to Jordynne Grace, she's the biggest woman there that could contend with some of the men there. At least she wouldn't have been knocked over so easily like Tessa Blanchard. I'm just saying. Now, let's be honest here. This was all about Heath and Rhino. There's no other way to put it. We knew this had to be about Heath and Rhino. We knew. Now, mind you, I didn't know if Heath knew that Rhino was putting his contract on the line. But before the match happened, and I think there was a little botch there just before they had the recording, because it sounded like they said, hey, when they tried to do the bit and someone said there was a problem, they had to wait. And then the guy said, okay, you can go on. And then they did the bit. That was a little bit of snafu when it comes to production. They should have been more careful about that. But seeing that he did know was important. And seeing that the last two was Sammy and Rhino because Heath got thrown out. And it looked like Heath might have actually been hurt. Possibly hurt. Really. I'm not sure. He looked like he might have actually been hurt. But that could have just been part of the bit. We got Rhino winning, getting the cup. And now Rhino and the Heath keep their... Well, Rhino keeps his job. The Heath gets a job. And now no more Heath for Impact. I'm sure they're going to still sell the shirts, but you get my point. You know where they may be going. Maybe. Tag titles. But it could be that Rhino may be trying to go after the X Division world. That would be interesting. You never know. Or Heath himself. Now, the last... Wait, almost forgot. The Knockouts tag titles are coming back. Now, unfortunately, the stream had dropped right when they were going to say when they're going to start getting it ready. I guess 2021, probably in January, they're going to start sponsoring the tag titles. And then they'll probably have a tournament for the women there. Because I don't know. I don't know when they're going to say it. I think they said it for 2021. But Josh pretty much got cut off. But I think... No, it wasn't Josh. It was Madison Rayne that said it. But she got cut off. I think the reason I got Josh mixed up with Madison was because I think I'd rather have Matt Striker start doing commentary for a little while. Because that happened in a kickoff show, and I believe I got a shot at him with Don Callis. I would love to see Matt Striker do commentary from now on. Now, either he's going to replace maybe Madison Rayne, or I would love him to replace Josh Matthews for a little while and let them just take a break from them. You never know. That could have been a one-time thing. I really hope he comes back to Impact Wrestling, or come to Impact Wrestling, work there. You never know. But we're getting women tag titles. Now it makes sense why they've been making people do what they've been doing with these women. Finally, the match of the night, because of the storytelling, because what it means for the future. Rich Swann versus Eric Young for the Impact World title. The vid packs, they've been replaying them over and over again throughout the night and throughout the shows before Bound for Glory. So there wasn't anything brand new to see. Not really. When it came to the match itself, it was good. In the end, there was blood, which needed to happen from Rich Swann. Either he bit his mouth, or he actually bled because he got hit good in the face. But it didn't really make a difference whether he did it on purpose, accidental, or it happened accidentally. The blood was a good touch. It was good. Let me put it like this. I think Rich was supposed to go after the title earlier. But due to the fact he got hurt, he couldn't. Because this kind of feels like this was meant to happen a while ago. Now, I'm not upset that Rich Swann won. In fact, it makes sense to see that now Eric Young has to chase after somebody now. Because Eric Young is more dangerous when he has to chase someone for a title than he has the title. Seeing Rich win and then seeing everybody come out and congratulate him was beautiful. I am very happy to see that happen. I'm very happy to see that Rich Swann won, and he put on a very good performance with Eric Young. They actually got good chemistry together. But now here's the thing, guys. And I think this video is almost gone to 30 minutes. What is the future for Impact Wrestling? You now have Dana Purrazzo still in the story, because we don't know what happened to Kylie Rae. And even though Su Yung won the title, she's still in the title picture. You got Su Yung as the champ now. You got the X Division with Raju. Instead of giving it either Gordon, I don't know why I keep saying Gordon when I mean Jordynne Grace. It's a lot on my mind, guys. Sorry. But you got the same person with the X Division, the same person with the women's Knockouts title, new tag title holders, which you don't know if one of them is going to be leaving the company, and now I'm repeating myself, Rich Swann is champ. I have no idea if this is going to help Impact Wrestling going forward into 2021 to the next Bound for Glory. The question is going to be, what are they going to be booking from now on? Will they know how to book? Because last year the booking sucked, guys. I'm being honest here. As much as many people were happy about Tessa Blanchard. And I had no problem that Tessa won the damn title. But she was never booked properly. The writers didn't make it about maybe her being like Chyna. She doesn't have the build like freaking Chyna. I'm sorry. She wasn't as big as Chyna. Chyna was a monster of a woman. The only two people in that company that made sense that could even be close to a Chyna was Havoc and Jordynne Grace. And she was neither. And they booked her like she was a damn monster. And honestly, even though she did a great job wrestling, she was never believable. And that hurt the company going into 2020 when she didn't want to go back to work when they were asking her to, and she got fired for it. So now going into 2021, it's really up in the air what's going on with Impact Wrestling. I do not think at this time, and I know other people are going to say this is awesome, I love Impact, I know some of my subscribers are going to say this is a great show, and it was a very good to great show. But I'm talking about the future. And this is something many people don't want to notice when they look at either AEW or Impact Wrestling. We need to see what's going on for the future of these companies. And right now, AEW is doing a decent job with what they're stuck with. They're the only ones who manage to have fans. They're the only ones who manage to be able to put on good shows. Impact Wrestling is worse off than WWE. They have no fans. They don't do a Titantron like WWE. I'm not saying they should. They have no fans, and they're not willing to let their wrestlers even act as fans. They have no one but commentators to talk. And they try to do more gimmick stuff like doing video stories than actually doing wrestling in a ring. Look what happened with EC3 and Moose. Look what happened with Wrestle House. They had to do it that way. And I don't know where they're going to go. I am actually very concerned about Impact Wrestling. I don't think they're doing great on Access TV. And it's not just because Access doesn't have a reach. Hell, they got 120 million people in Canada and America that watch them. I just don't think they have the writing team to do it. I'm sorry, guys. They haven't hired the people they need to write. And then, let's be honest, there's no major star power on the show. They just had James Storm come back. He's one of the most strongest people to actually say that has star power. Because he's been on Impact Wrestling. He's been in WWE and people know him. Hell, he was even a star on NWA. So they don't got no star power. They don't got no good writing. And they're on a network that has 120 million reach. And how many people actually see the show? I don't know. This could be because of, like I said, I just found out a relative has passed away, and I could be just not myself. But I have been thinking about this for a while. So I'm just concerned. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. And watch for my Hell in a Cell. I will be doing it. Peace.